Hello, everyone. Welcome to another rendition of WXR, the weekly podcast for the X-Pound. And joining me, as usual, is the stay-at-home dad gamer, Rick the Hammer.
Hello.
And Marcus Shadow.
What's up? You gonna introduce yourself?
I was about to. Learn not to interrupt. But yes,
Jump
I am the host for this week, Chris, aka The Mole. And this is the week of, well, obviously the week that's in the title. So yeah, we're going to discuss the stuff we liked this week from Raw, and I think Raw's the only one we did have anything from, so yeah. I will take it away first with my favourite segment of the week. And that is Stephanie McMahon getting arrested. That's right. Basically, we had a segment in which basically Nikki's in a handicap match, and Nikki comes out, acts surprised because there's Brie. Stephanie comes out, insults Brie. Brie insults her back and calls her a bitch. Stephanie slaps her, and FYI, Mo totally called this. I said, I bet you any money because Brie's a fan, Stephanie will probably get arrested by this, and maybe it'll build to Brie getting her job back. But yeah, sure, lo and behold, Brie pressed charges against Stephanie, and Stephanie is escorted away by the police.
Yep, Brie had a golden ticket.
Yep. So yeah, what do you think about that, Rick?
That sounds kind of funny, actually.
It was, and they actually played it great. The only part where I felt let it down was when they went into the back and Stephanie's being carried away. Triple H did his usual thing of trying to make jokes and make it about him, and I was like, come on, this is a segment about your wife being arrested. Take it seriously. You're ruining the segment.
That's his secret.
Yeah. Triple H, segment killer.
Yeah.
The 4-on-1
I do.
Yeah. The 4-on-1 handicap match was Eve Marie, the Funkadactyls, and Rosa Mendez against Brie.
If you call it a match, they just beat the crap out of her.
Yeah. They just beat the crap out of her. It was a handicap match. But
yeah, I liked the Stephanie segment. I thought it was well done. I have to admit, even though Triple H did his usual thing, the crack he made was kind of funny. The hybrid crack.
Fair enough.
It's like, wait, is this a hybrid? Are you guys proud of yourselves?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like I said, when Triple H was doing the jokes, I was just face palming, like, oh come on. If it was the guys segment, you wouldn't do this. Like if it was Triple H being arrested, everyone would have to act like it was the most serious shit in the world. It's like, come on.
Except it'd be great if they did that and then Shawn Michaels just has a lollipop in his mouth.
Yes.
Standing next to Adam Rose.
With Paul London grinning. No.
Yes.
But no, with respect to the Stephanie thing, I would just like to mention leading up to it, they had Flo Rida come out because he was the special guest and he performed the song that they overuse way too much, which was a decent song. But that's all he did. Is he did a little backstage things where he talked to some people and then he came out and just performed his song.
And he pushed Heath Slater.
Yeah, and he pushed Wendy, but nobody cares about Wendy. But like I said when we were watching it, am I the only one who thought that they should have used that more for a pay-per-view? Like it felt so out of place on Raw.
Yeah, kind of. Although part of me also thought, when I was watching the segment, like I said, I loved his T-shirt with the WWE Raw like graffiti look, which he's had custom made. I wish they sold it on WWE.com. I'd go out and buy it.
The other thing too, the reason I mentioned is because Stephanie is the one that came out and introduced him, and now on hindsight, I'm like, they only had her out there so they could do the bit. Like it didn't even dawn on me. I was thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, wait, yeah, it is kind of weird that she's the one that came out to introduce him. It's like they wanted her out here to get arrested. I'm just like, so they used Flo Rida as a setup. I'm like, come on. I mean, I'm not a Flo Rida fan, but come on, that's kind of insulting to Flo Rida as your guest, where you're using him as a setup to one of your stories. I'm like, fuck you.
To be fair, isn't that what they used the WrestleMania bands for, as a setup for the match?
Yeah, but they usually come out to perform either the theme song for WrestleMania or one of the wrestlers' theme songs, which is fair enough. There's at least a purpose. He was supposed to be the special guest for Raw, and unlike other special guests who, you know, they kind of use him in pseudo storyline stuff, where they'll come out and do their stuff and say their stuff for one night. Literally, Flo Rida's only purpose was as an excuse to get Stephanie ringside. I'm like, come on.
Yep. I will also say, Rick, during the segment, we had I think it was during the segment, or it was just after it, we also had a random Joey Mercury appearance with Triple H backstage.
Really?
Yeah, he was like in a suit. He wasn't meant to be Joey Mercury. He was meant to be like a security guy or something. But it was like, I recognize him. Why do I recognize him? I think it was Kage pointed out that was Joey Mercury. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I recognized him.
Nice.
The whole time I was like, I know that face.
Yeah, he was playing like Stephanie McMahon's bodyguard. He was the person who like escorted Brie out of the building and stuff.
Yeah. But did you have anything?
Who, me?
Yeah, on your life. Well, it wouldn't be Rick. He hasn't seen it. He's just
Fair enough.
Rick's our response guy.
Oh, since you did mention the 4-on-1 thing,
Yep.
like, I like the feud, but I don't like the fact that nobody is even lifting a finger to even attempt to help Nikki. I'm like, that's not realistic.
See, like we said, it makes perfect realistic sense. It's the same way that, for lack of a better description, during the Attitude Era, when Vince was always after Austin and had gangs after Austin, how often did someone come out and help him? Not that often, because they know if they cross the boss, they're going to get the same treatment. It's actually realistic that people would stand by and allow that to happen to avoid getting fired and stuff like that, or to avoid stuff like that happening to them. Which I think is meant to be that.
Yeah, but I think it would have been more realistic if they at least tried, and then Stephanie was like, if you get in that ring, I will fire your ass. But it's like nobody's even thinking to try. I'm like, wow, you're all horrible women. Fuck you all. At least look like you're going to try. I would have accepted it if they had at least tried and Stephanie told them off. But they didn't even try. I'm like, no, that's bullshit.
Fair enough. Like I said, I didn't think it was bullshit just because, like I said, it felt like when it happens to the guys and no one bothers trying. It's like, I can understand it, because why would you want that to happen to you?
Right. But in terms of new stuff, Bo Dallas versus LeBron Dow James.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, that's right, Rick. Damian Sandow dressed as LeBron James because they were in Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, Bo Dallas wins, of course. I was gonna say, finally, they actually let Sandow wrestle for once.
It's also worth. Sorry.
I was just saying, he actually did wrestling moves. I mean, yeah, they still had some gimmicky stuff because LeBron James stuff, like they gave him the like jump shot taunt and stuff, and and when he went to attempt the elbow of disdain, he was like, "Cleveland, I'm coming home."
Yeah.
But yeah, they actually let him wrestle.
I was going to say, basically, with his outfit as well, it would also be worth noting he wasn't dressed exactly like LeBron James. He actually was in a Miami shirt in which he's crossed out Miami and put Cleveland above it to make fun of him going to Cleveland from Miami, which I was like, nice.
Yeah. I do have to say, the one thing about this match that kind of disappointed me is that when Bo Dallas went for the running Bo Dog, it looked sloppy. And I was like, why? Why is that so sloppy?
And I will say, for the next bit, I will say, it's weird, but before that handicap match, Rick, we had a handicap match. It all built because Triple H opened up Raw, and in a hilarious manner, he mocked a load of fans on the internet with stuff like, "Oh, me and my friend Mark are not going to watch next week," and "Boo! If someone else wins, I'll riot," and all this. And he said Orton is the front runner for the #1 contender shot at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns interrupted, saying people want to see him versus Cena. And Triple H got mad and booked a 2-on-1 match right there and then. Orton and Kane versus Reigns, and that's when went straight into the match. Which the match was actually pretty fun for a handicap match. And I also had a note here of Lawler actually made a joke which I found funny. I know, I paused for shock, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that could happen anymore.
Yeah, he actually said the sentence of "Come on," when someone was like, "Triple H has to respect all of what Roman Reigns has done recently. He's made massive accomplishments." And Jerry Lawler responds, "Roman Reigns could walk on water," and all Triple H would say is, "Ha! Reigns can't swim."
Nice.
I must have missed that.
I liked that joke, and yeah, Reigns picked up the win as Orton and Kane started to turn on each other.
Yeah, I think they're gonna face turn Kane.
Yep.
All right. I do have. All right. So the next one I'll talk about. Well, since Jim's not here, I'll go ahead and do this one next. Chris Jericho's highlight reel segment with guest Bray Wyatt. That never happened.
It's also worth pointing out the reason James isn't here is we were due to record, and yeah, he didn't show the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm not going to lie to the fans.
Indeed. Yeah, see, we care, people. But Mini Rick. But yeah, Chris Jericho's highlight reel. Was supposed to have guest Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt attacked Jericho before the segment. But they opened it with the highlight reel setup, and then did they play Jericho's music or did it just go straight into the Wyatt music? Well, I can't remember.
I think it went straight into the Wyatt music because that was the whole thing, which I know you can go into, which is cool. And I will also point out, when you said Mini Rick, was anyone else picturing Mini Me from Austin Powers playing Evita?
Oh, great. Now Jim's not even listening to us. Good job, Mole.
Of course he's not listening over as he'd actually, bother showing up.
Jim doesn't watch our videos. That's silly, Marcus.
Yeah, quick, insert the clip of The Rock saying, "If you don't want to be here, get the F out."
There you go. But yeah, so the Wyatt's theme hits, the Wyatts come out, and then they come out, Miami, we're here. And they come out, it's all dark. Bray Wyatt takes up the mic and he actually cuts a fairly decent promo, and then he's like, "You want to know why Chris Jericho's not here?" Points to the monitor, shows what happened in the back where he assaults Jericho, grabs him, does a Sister Abigail, but they're in the locker room, and it looked like the lockers in the Miami locker room are like metal girders, like painted metal girders, or at least like solid steel. And he takes Jericho, kisses him, and then does a Sister Abigail into like the side of one of the metal lockers, and it's like Jericho doesn't even bounce; he just bam, and just kind of slides down the locker. And it's just like, oh, I think you just killed Jericho. Which is pretty much what happened. Jericho didn't come out. Bray cuts a good promo. Let's see what I have here. Yeah, it was a damn good promo. But that's pretty much all that happened there, was just to continue the Wyatt Jericho feud. Wyatt just said, I can't remember the entire promo, but he goes on about Jericho and about how he's going to still beat Jericho, yada yada yada. It was good. If you can find it on like YouTube or something. Probably like on WWE's own channel, they probably have it there. And check it out; it's a really good promo. Bray Wyatt's been cutting some good promos as of late.
See, I disagreed with that.
Oh?
My thoughts on it, like I mentioned to you at the time, which it's cool. People all have different opinions. My thought with that was I was extremely disappointed with it, Rick, because we got told highlight reel with Bray Wyatt. That would have been an epic segment.
Yeah.
Instead, we got generic backstage beatdown and Bray Wyatt cutting the exact same promo he has during the entire Jericho feud.
True. I would have loved to have seen the highlight reel with Bray Wyatt. You're right. That would have been awesome.
But I understand a lot of people did like it. Like I know Jim loved the promo as well, so it is worth checking out to make up your own opinion. I'll go with the next segment. Next segment I had was AJ and Paige versus Natalya and Emma. It was actually a pretty damn good match, Rick, because Emma was doing some of the comical stuff, but not as much. Now there's no Santino. And, well, Natalya on Raw, yay. the match ends with Paige just turning on AJ and completely ass beating her down. She even like threw her into the fucking announce table and everything. It was a massive beatdown. It was probably the worst beatdown we saw all night.
Yep. Yeah, I have to say, I approve of the physicality. I'm like, wow, Paige is completely fucking her up. I like this.
Yep. Which, as a match, I say this match was better. As a storyline, I think the other segment was better for the Divas, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm really grateful we had 2 Diva segments like that on Raw, and both of them are great for the Divas. It's like they're actually starting to give a shit about the division.
Mm-hmm. And also, since you didn't mention it, Mole, as you said during the segment, I hope Brock Lesnar was taking notes.
Oh yeah, during Page, but
Yeah,
I mainly
that's
said
how
that
you do a
sarcastically.
scream.
Yeah, I mainly said that sarcastically, Rick, because Paige did a move to AJ on the outside, like threw her, and then goes
Right.
"Ah," like a monstrous heel. And I said, that's how you do a scream, not "Caw," like Brock did. Wow! And I'm like, wait, did their voices swap?
Yeah. They got to patch that in post.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Over to Marcus.
Oh, wow. Okay, I must have just dropped for a little bit there. Huh.
We can hear you. Or we can't hear you. Can you hear us, Rick?
I can hear. I can hear
Okay.
you. I heard him say,
I heard him say he dropped. We seem to be
Yeah.
experiencing technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
I blame James.
I hear Marcus typing.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we heard you typing.
No, I've been saying hello for the past couple of minutes. For
Oh.
some reason, I kept getting kicked out. What was the last thing you heard me say, actually?
Ironically, it was, I must have dropped her. Now everything's okay. Dum.
But no, because the last thing I said, and I didn't hear any response, was you have to admit that Paige's scream was better than Brock Lesnar's.
Yeah, we went on about that bit, which yeah, it was. Okay. But over to you for the next segment.
Sure. Let me bring that back up. Let's see what I have. This is the last thing on my list. Well, Big E and Kofi Kingston versus Ryback, where Kofi lost the match for the team. But after that, Xavier Woods came out wearing a white and red Brother Love style suit. Yeah, that's right. He came out looking like the Black Brother Love. And he proceeded to cut a pretty damn good promo, talking about, how, WWE is not using us right. It's time for us to take our own destiny into our own hands. And, I'm sick of being held back, and I know you guys are sick of being held back. It's basically, it sounds like they kind of might want to go forward with the new Nation of Domination type thing.
Which I mentioned I hope they weren't.
Yeah, I hope they don't call it the Nation. I like the idea of the stable, and I'm really impressed with Xavier Woods' mic skills because holy shit, that guy can actually talk. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. He cut a really good promo.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was saying, yeah, I was hoping it wasn't just going to be the inevitable Nation again with, oh look, we're black, so we're just thrown together. I didn't like the Nation last time. The only part of the Nation I liked last time was The Rock.
Yeah.
Even Farouk, who I liked, I just didn't like in the Nation. But it was a case of, with this one, I was hoping with them to talk about being held back. I hope they also go on with white superstars and Asian and stuff like that have all been held back. Like, this would be a great way. If imagine like during the next matchup, Cody Rhodes turns on Goldust, takes off the face paint and joins them because he's being held back by being forced to be Stardust. I think that'd be great.
That could work. But no offense to like Biggie and more no offense to Kofi, but kind of no offense to Biggie and Xavier. But if Cody did that, wouldn't that'd be a step down for him?
It would be a step down for him, but if it gave him exposure, he could be the breakout star like The Rock was. Like, it could help elevate him if he had his own stable. But
True.
I had 3 things on my list to discuss. I'll leave the last
Okay.
I'll leave the last part of Raw till last. Miz came out and had a match with Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
Dolph Ziggler actually picked up the win, which was unfortunate, but it was still a pretty good match. And Miz did keep the title, so yay.
Yeah.
Another great match on Raw was Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that. I really do like what they're doing with Dean Ambrose. I think that's great.
Yeah. I agree.
And the final part of Raw, which I'm sure Marcus liked as well, is we have basically a cut to Randy Orton and like coming out to basically say he wants to be Plan C. And I think it was Reigns. I think it was Reigns runs him off, and he goes into the crowd of Reigns and Triple H is in the ring. Then Paul Heyman comes out and he's like, "Excuse me, Triple H, but I was watching, yada yada yada." And it comes and he goes, "Allow me to introduce you to Plan C." And Brock Lesnar comes out. Then in the ring, Paul Heyman runs his normal type of promo of mention the streak and say his name, which it was kind of good. My favorite part of that entire promo was when he mentioned One C Nation under John, and just goes on like that. And that part of the promo was brilliant.
Yeah. He basically takes the Pledge of Allegiance and completely rewrites it and takes the piss with it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, and when Brock's in the ring and he mentions Brock beat the Undertaker streak, just like he's going to beat the streak of John Cena's career. And I'm like, ooh. Admittedly, this would be more intimidating, like we pointed out, if Brock Lesnar didn't have a loss in the last year against Cena, but still. Now Brock's got heel heat from the streak. It could be fun.
I hope he wins.
Yep. I hope Brock wins as well. And I mentioned, Rick, my thoughts with Brock win. I want Brock to win, but my thought isn't just because boo Cena must lose like the cliche everyone does. My thought was I want Brock to win because he has the heat of the Undertaker streak. Then he has the championship, and I said build it till WrestleMania and have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble. Because imagine if Roman Reigns as a face dethrones Brock at WrestleMania. How much will that launch him?
Yeah, that would.
Yeah. And I hope he wins for that because that's a great idea, and I'm thoroughly on board with it. But I'm also thinking that because right now he's got the whole I defeated the Undertaker's undefeated streak. If they have him go into SummerSlam and he loses, then that kind of pisses all over the Undertaker's undefeated streak, in my opinion.
Not necessarily.
I do because if he loses, it's like this guy defeated the Undertaker, really?
Yeah, but at the same time, when Undertaker had his streak, he'd lose a lot of the year. It was just a case of on that night at WrestleMania, he happened to be better than the Undertaker. Because you'd have Undertaker like lose feuds during the year. This is a couple of years back before he was just a WrestleMania event, and you'd have Undertaker lose matches to put people over. And then when it came time for WrestleMania, he was godly at that point. So it makes sense that maybe someone else was able to be godly on that one night.
Yeah, but the other thing too is this will be like Brock's first match since WrestleMania, and it's like if he'd actually been a regular and been around and had some other matches and won, okay, fair enough. But it's his first match back. It's like no, he can't lose. To me, that's the wrong way to do it.
It would, although as I've mentioned in the past, if Brock wins or loses, I'm hoping he wins for the reason I mentioned. But if he wins or loses or anything like that, I say it doesn't impact the streak at all. The streak still happened. And like I've mentioned, I approve of Brock ending it. I was okay with that. I predicted it because, like people have mentioned in the past, Undertaker chose Brock. Undertaker liked Brock. He's a fan of him, which means it's up to him who ended his streak. But since we may not talk about this tomorrow, and since you said we could take it for WXR, did you want to talk about for the other part of the week? Since otherwise we just talk about Raw. Did you want to talk about Comic-Con?
We could. Are we going to mention? Okay, yeah, we can mention Comic-Con. So Sting appeared at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, in official WWE capacity to promote the video game. And he did go on to say it was a bunch of firsts for him, for like his first appearance specifically for the WWE or as a WWE representative, his first appearance for the video game, and a bunch of other stuff. And so he sounded pretty stoked to be there. And
Yeah,
I
he
think
did,
it's pretty
which is
awesome.
pretty cool. And he was in full pay. He was in. His hair was now black and long back. He had the fucking crow style face paint thing on. He looked like Sting. And I was like,
Nice.
nice. I want to see him back in the ring. And he also mentioned he said when they asked him about possibly an in-ring return, he's mentioned. I said to him, I'm up for anything. You can use me for anything. I'm up for it. I've told them as well. I would like one more match, and I've named my opponent, which we all know who that is. But I wouldn't mind one more match. Which, yeah, the person he named was supposed to be Undertaker, according to a load of reports and stuff like that from him and interviews with him. He has mentioned he wants Undertaker at WrestleMania, which, like I said, I don't think the match will be a 5-star match quality. But for an
No.
older fan who liked Undertaker and liked Sting and wanted to see that, just the spectacle of like Sting doing his moves to Undertaker, Undertaker doing his moves to Sting and stuff like that, it's like that's gonna be something that just makes you mark out, even if it's not that great a quality. I'm okay for.
Yeah, unfortunately though, if they do it now, the impact of the match won't be as great as it could have been, or as high as it could have been, because Undertaker no longer has the streak.
I say it's better because of that.
Why?
Because if you had Undertaker with the streak still intact going against Sting, and it's like someone from outside of WWE has come, if he won the streak, so many fans would be pissed off that all the WWE talent who have fallen from the years, and you job him out to someone for one match from WCW. Which I like the guy from WCW. I really do like Sting, but I think people would be pissed. Plus, you'd kind of expect Sting to lose. This way, Undertaker's got a loss. He could lose again. It's like the matchup goes from being as per usual for the last 5-10 years or whatever. It goes from being, can he stop the streak, to the two forces of darkness clashing, and it goes to be the feud it should have been.
I suppose that could be cool. Also, Daniel Bryan was at Comic-Con. He met Sting, and someone interviewed him. His future's kind of uncertain right now. He needs a second
Surgery.
surgery on his neck/shoulder to repair his neck. He doesn't know if he's going to do it yet, but their doctors are recommending that he does it.
And I will also mention, if Undertaker is ready for next year's WrestleMania, and if Sting goes against Undertaker at WrestleMania, one thing I just want to see, just one thing, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker in the ring talk about, okay, the streak may have ended, yada yada yada, but the spirit of the Undertaker still lives on. This company, I'm gonna purge his company into darkness or whatever. I want Sting's music to hit, and I want to see Sting point at the WrestleMania logo with the bat.
Be
Just
like
'cause
everything.
Yeah, because I'm like, wow, everyone's pointed at it before. Not with a bat. You've instantly improved this moment. Or it'd be even better if they cut up to the rafters where the WrestleMania sign is and Sting's perched on top of it.
There you go.
I'd just be like, the fuck? I just love that. Or if like they do the spotlight tracking to see where Sting, like suddenly it goes dark and a spotlight track him and it stops on the WrestleMania logo, and there's Sting crouched on top of it just watching. That'd be great as well. It'd be even more hilarious if he's crouched on top of it and leans forward and round to point at it, but that would just ruin the moment. But I still think it'd be amazing just to see him crouched on top of the WrestleMania sign. How about you?
That'd
would
be interesting.
pretty cool.
I don't know if he would do that kind of stuff anymore, given his age and stuff.
To be fair, that's just sitting on top of the thing. They could have something specialized behind it to keep him there.
Okay. I want, because I just thought of this and it's stupid. They need to get somebody to dress up like Sting,
Stand out.
Yeah, and then Sting will come out, to Undertaker. He'll point at the sign with the bat, and it'll look up there, and Sting will be up there perched on it as well as pointing at it with the bat.
Yes.
And Undertaker will be like, "What?" He's like, "Now who's playing mind games?"
Hmm. Only if it gets even more ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Before that segment happens, I want him to just be the Titantron with Sting, and I want the singer to come out first. Then I want Damien Sandow dressed as Sting. Because it's like, wait, what the? Stop teasing Sting. You're going out your way to just not give the real Sting. Just purchased the logo. You're mad, bro. No.
He opens his coat, and that's his shirt. It's just the troll face.
Yeah, it's like, am I the only person that, or well, if Sandow's dressing character, because now we're talking about the future and stuff, as stupid as this would be, am I the only person who wants Brock Lesnar in the ring, and I want the lights to go out, Undertaker's music to hit, and Sandow to come out dressed as Taker, get into the ring, and try and go for the choke slam like the Hurricane used to, and just not have it work, then boom, F5.
There you go.
The Sandow take.
Yeah, I think that would just be amazing, and I don't know why.
That would be awesome.
Yep. But I will say thank you for joining me to my two co-hosts.
You're welcome.
And I believe us two and, well, I'll say us three, and Jim should be doing another one of these tomorrow, but it's not about wrestling. Tomorrow is Around the Pound, and it's our Comic-Con special. So stay tuned. Comic-Con.